Oh, make me a cream tea Vasilevsky Bolts win. Welcome back to another Bolts analysis. Yes, the streak is alive and is now increased to 8 as we won by 9 goals to 2 against the Vancouver Canucks. Did not see that coming. Again, I expected this to be a lot tougher than it was. But no apparent sort of hangovers from the road trip or anything like that. I mean, to be fair, this is not a game that we controlled the entire way through. Indeed, going into the interval, first intermission, Vancouver actually up 1-0 in a turnover that you kind of look at, and even with the result, you're kind of like, we need to cut those out. Fewer of those, please, Stamkos. But not discouraged. Managed to tie it 1-1. Then one of the quickest power play goals I've ever seen. Literally, power play starts, face off, Stamkos, goal, boff. Nice and straightforward. And then there was a temptation to feel a little bit sorry for yourself when Vancouver managed to score the second off a deflection that goes in off Hedman's skate. But then, whoa, we really got into gear. And I think Myers for Vancouver just missing, unable to keep it in the zone. That allowed the breakaway. Killorn very nicely making it 3-2, and then we just didn't let up. Verhaeghe, Kucherov, Cernak, you name it, they were scoring. Some of them absolute bullets, but Markstrom just looking more and more befuddled, just being like, wet, what's going on? Help me. Because his defence just seemed to be withdrawing even more. Like, there was no fight back whatsoever from Vancouver. They just got more and more withdrawn. The shot counts became more and more lopsided in Tampa's favour. And by the end of the second period, we were 6-2 up. And Vancouver just never had a prayer after that. And what I liked about the third period was that we didn't just try to sort of go, 6-2 is fine, we don't need to add to it. No, we were relentless. We kept going it. Carter Verhaeghe was like, do you know what? I've only scored 2 goals before this game. I'm going to get myself a hat-trick. And just the motivation of the other players on his line to get him that hat-trick was really nice to see. So, yes, very good night. Not just because we won, but also we are now second in the Atlantic Division. We have gone above Toronto, who might go ahead of us again, but that's another story. Thirdly, Boston did not lose, so we haven't closed that particular gap. Boston got a pretty impressive win, even by their standards, 6-2 over Nashville, who, once again, I'm not sure that coaching change is going to work, but let's see what happens. Elsewhere in the Atlantic, Florida lost quite badly, I thought, in the end, to Arizona. Looked like Arizona in the end, I watched the highlights and it kind of just looked like the Yotes just kind of picked them off after a while. Taylor Hall, made the most of his power play opportunities, could have had a hat-trick. So, yeah, it kind of feels like Florida is stuttering at a bad time, particularly as a win would have kept them in the wildcard spots, as it is, because Carolina beat the Flyers, but the Flyers took it to overtime. Carolina stays in the wildcard spots, and the Flyers managed to get themselves into that second wildcard spot, and indeed the Flyers can boost their position over Florida if they manage to beat Washington tonight. So not a good night for Florida all round. We've managed to increase our advantage over them to, 5 points. So pretty healthy. The Atlantic Division is looking a lot better for us these last couple of weeks. Buffalo didn't play. Montreal, not quite sure what's happening to the Canadians, but they lost again, this time to Detroit. And Ottawa were playing a good game against Washington, were 1-0 up after one period, and then basically did a Vancouver, let in 6 goals, and Washington won rather comfortably. So that's kind of how it stands. Lightning have tonight off. I believe we're in action tomorrow against the Yotes, which I think is going to be more difficult than Vancouver. And I thought Vancouver was going to be difficult, but Arizona are not the side to give up 6, let alone 9. We're going to have a much tougher battle against them, I think, and they are dangerous. They're not just a defensive side. If they want to punish you offensively, they will punish you offensively. So we need to be alert to that. 3 games on tonight. The main one, I guess, that we kind of need to focus on is the one in Toronto, as they host the Winnipeg Jets. Toronto managed to beat the Winnipeg Jets within the last week at Winnipeg. So once again, the Jets are on the road looking for revenge against an Eastern Canadian team. Sounds familiar. Washington, Philadelphia should be quite fun. I'm not quite sure what to make of the Flyers at the moment, because they went up 2-0 very quickly against Carolina. Then they were down 4-2, not so good. Then they managed to battle back to a 4-4. But then the overtime goal wasn't not exactly a highlight reel one. Just one of those ones where it's just like, well, maybe don't lose your stick next time. And there's one other game. I don't think it's got any particular standing on us. I want to say it's Dallas against the Kings. I mean, the Kings are pretty irrelevant these days, and Dallas are pretty good. So I guess it's more sort of a look at sort of one of the stronger teams in the Western Conference, see what they can do. But yeah, pretty quiet nights as far as the hockey world goes. But hopefully we can make it 9 from 9 against the Yotes. But until then, this has been Bolts Analysis. Remember, it's fun to score 6, but it probably won't happen again. So lower those expectations. But well done to Carter Verhaeghe. That's the last thing I'll say.